As the countdown continued with just over 1,200 days left to save the planet, the Supreme Master Qinghai International Association members in Taichung, Formosa or Taiwan collaborated with 29 other co-organizers to host a climate change conference entitled Protect Our Home with Love on October the 11th. The letters LOVE signify L for LOHAS, which stands for Lifestyles of Health and Sustainability, O for Organic, V for Vegan, and E for Eco Dimensions to Save the Planet. Thousands of participants attended the event to stay informed about the latest facts on global warming, ways to live sustainably, and the single most effective solution, the plant-based animal-free diet. The conference was co-hosted by Thelmo Louis Buddy Kananan, the famous Philippine TV host of NBN television. Discussions on the themes of love were conducted by distinguished panelists including environmental scientists Dr. Leah Sharshan and Professor Liu Chongming, famous Formosan or Taiwanese film and television personality Ms. Tan Ai-chun, President of the Formosa's first veg-promoting website, Mr. Ling Hong Hui, Chief Editor, Personal and Cultural Enterprise Company Limited, Mr. Ling Shu Wen-er, and former pig farmer turned vegan, Mr. Luo Hong Xian. Other dignitaries included guest speaker, the Honorable Mayor Amelita Navarro of Santiago, the Philippines, and Mr. Chan Tian-wan, Deputy Speaker of Taichung City Council. Graciously accepting an invitation to attend via video conference as the event's guest of honor was Supreme Master Qinghai. We now invite you to join us for part 1 of an 8-part rebroadcast of the video conference with Supreme Master Qinghai entitled Protect Our Home with Love, held on October 11th, 2009, Taichung, Formosa or Taiwan.
Greetings, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Climate Change Conference Protect Our Home with Love, which stands for LOHAS, Organic, Vegan, and Eco-Friendly. Greetings too to our worldwide viewers who are joining us today live through Supreme Master TV's 14 satellite platforms, IPTVs, cable TVs, and Internet TV via www.suprememastertv.com. Let's care for this planet and protect the environment today through this conference. I'm your host, Buddy Kunana.
Global warming and climate change have become serious worldwide concerns. The issue of climate is no longer just one-day news event, but now has a serious impact on everyone's daily life.
Yes, very true. You know, there are so many terrible disasters that have happened. From the 2003 European heat wave, to the 2004 South Asian tsunami, to the 2005 Hurricane Katrina, to the 2008 Cyclone Nargis in Myanmar, to the recurring wildfires in California and Australia, to the terrible typhoons Pepeng and Ondoy that devastated Metro Manila and many parts of northern Luzon.
And of course, the disaster caused by Typhoon Morocco in Formosa, Taiwan this August, and lately as well Typhoon Parma, which did not land in Formosa, Taiwan, but caused a lot of disaster in Yilan, which made us feel like we are facing the climate change.
Indeed, you know, disaster relief, making arrangements for refugees, victims of energy and food crises, collapsing ecological stability, international, regional, and local cooperation. All of these are happening around us.
Today, we are extremely honored to be able to invite many researchers and experts to join our conference. And through panel discussions, they will thoroughly explain the main causes and the effect of climate change and make concrete suggestions in 4 dimensions: LOHAS, organic, vegan, and eco, to address this global crisis.
Yes, this conference is a product of so many groups and people coming together to protect the earth and protect the environment. And so, you know, we have 29 co-organizers who have helped make this conference happen. At this juncture, I'd like to say special thanks to Chongqing University for providing Hoishen Hall, this beautiful place where we can come and meet and talk about this very pressing issue of climate change and global warming.
Yes, it's really such a beautiful place. Now, we would like to invite Dr. Xiao Jiefu, the president of Zhongxing University, for his opening remarks.
各位贵宾，大家好。我首先代表中兴大学欢迎大家莅临中兴大学来参加这个非常有意义的会议。虽然这一次会议是用学术性的这个研讨会这个字眼，但实际上呢，整个这个会议经过精心的这个设计能够让每一位的来宾都能够清楚的了解并接受这一次会议所提供的一个非常重要的气候变迁的讯息。我想大家都非常了解全球暖化所造成的这个气候变迁已经开始影响到全世界，也常常成为国际间各种重要会议的焦点议题。近年来不断有旱灾、水灾以及粮食短缺的问题，多少都跟这个全球气候的变迁有密切的关系。那么特别台湾8月份有创纪录的雨量，莫拉克台风造成非常严重的伤害这个就是一个非常明显的例子。那这个我想这种气候的变化我想我们今天的会议有邀请几位非常重要的这个学者刘少仁教授、柳宗明教授他们会给大家做非常精辟的解说。中兴大学今年创校90周年，是台湾历史最悠久的大学。目前农业与自然资源学院、生命科学院、兽医学院、理学院、工学院、文学院及社会科学管理学院有7大学院，是教育部5年500亿的顶尖研究型大学。我们特别在农业科学跟工程的领域表现非常的杰出。特别在农业科学，我们已经进入世界100大，就是85名。所以呢，我们这个农业方面有非常杰出的科技人才跟资源，长期以来在农业的研究跟推广上面不遗余力。同时呢，我们把这个研究也落实在生活上，所以我们创立了全台湾第一个有机生态校园也有这个有机的这个农屋市集，希望我们能够与消费者做很好的沟通桥梁。那么所以我们希望能够对这个永续的发展有主要的贡献。那最后呢，我谢谢主办单位的用心，那么他以其他的协办单位付出很多的心力，最后祝福大家身体健康，万事如意，研讨会很成功，谢谢。
Thank you, Dr. Shao. Zhongxing University is a green university in Taiwan, and its campus is so eco-friendly and pleasant. I think this is an environment that we should have on this planet.
Yes, I agree. Going green these days is something considered special. However, years and years ago, it was a normal thing for our ancestors. Unfortunately, about 200 years ago, man started living more luxuriously, started expanding his life, creating more pollution and exhausting more resources, and making climate change more serious. In fact, scientific studies show that the pace of climate change today is faster than what they had originally assessed or predicted.
That's right. Before starting the conference, we would like to introduce you a video about climate change. Now, please watch Practice the Way of Love to Halt the Climate Change.
If you knew our home could be completely destroyed, or our lives are seriously threatened, would you let it continue going on?
Now, as a result of climate change, disasters like not that unusual now. So we have to be prepared for the worst. And we are drafting a piece of legislation called Homeland Planning Act, which will divide the country into different regions. Some may have to be evacuated, but this is very difficult in this country. We attach a lot of importance to the factor of global warming.
So you don't notice that there's a crisis, but in fact, we are at a crisis point now because we are very close to passing tipping points in the climate system that would have very undesirable consequences.
There are a couple of individuals, very significant people, who have been making this report and looking very carefully at the numbers. And their conclusion now is that the contribution of livestock production to global warming is more than 60%. It's not the 18% which was first suggested 3 or 4 years ago. It's not even the 50-some percent suggested a short while ago.
For past years, the livestock industry continues to expand. Where are the expanding lands and huge amount of grain coming from? Amazon deforestation increased 69% due to demand for meat during August 2007 and August 2008. The livestock sector is by far the single largest anthropogenic user of land. Deforestation is playing a major role in climate change. More than 300 experts stated, if we lose the forests, we lose the fight against climate change. A more urgent crisis is happening in the permafrost. Gases like methane are being released from the permafrost and the seafloor. As the gases will be released in huge quantities, the situation will be out of control.
The permafrost layer is melting each day, and the methane gas, or other gas even, are releasing into the atmosphere. Methane and nitrous oxide is made by livestock rising, livestock skipping. They are far more poisonous, far more dangerous than CO2.
Another gas implicated in several mass extinctions in the Earth's history is hydrogen sulfide. This colorless and highly toxic gas deadens our sense of smell and at higher concentration causes blindness and eventually death. Livestock and chemical fertilizers seriously pollute the water. People use targetless fishing trawlers, promptly destroying the ocean ecology. The ocean area lacking oxygen grows. Hydrogen sulfide then results in a dead zone. In the past, according to paleontologist Peter Ward, hydrogen sulfide in the oceans and atmosphere turned the sky green and choked off oxygen for plants, animals and marine life. He further warned that global warming caused by human activities could reproduce the same hydrogen sulfide situation that killed more than 90% of life during the Permian period. Our home is being destroyed, and our lives are facing serious threats. We need to curb climate change.
The point of no return is when you get to a place where the dynamics of the system takes over and then you can't do anything about it. It's too late.
There are many things that people can do to reduce their carbon emissions, but changing your light bulb and many of the things are much less effective than changing your diet.
Meat production and consumption is hugely intensive in terms of carbon dioxide emissions.
Unless we change our food choices, nothing else matters, because it is meat that is destroying most of our forests. It's meat that pollutes the waters. It is meat that is creating disease, which leads to all our money being diverted to hospitals. So it's the first choice for anybody who wants to save the earth.
Then if you eat less meat, you will be healthier and so would the planet.
There's where the climate problem is, our meat consumption.
Earth, our one and only home. Earth nurses all life with love. It's time for us to be guardian of our Mother Earth, to protect our home and all the co-inhabitants with love. The lifestyle to love the Earth, called LOHAS. LOHAS, lifestyle of health and sustainability.
You don't have to have a farm to do organic plants. You can plant tomatoes in pots on your balcony. You can put potatoes in them. You can have these shelf pots that you can plant all your herbs in. You can plant your lettuces. Try something. Just experiment.
In one of the longest studies ever conducted on organic farming practices, researched by the US-based Rodale Institute, has found that organic soil management not only minimises fossil fuel use, it can also reduce atmospheric carbon dioxide by removing it from the air and storing it as carbon in the soil. Scientists at the Institute estimate that if organic practices such as planting cover crops, composting and crop rotation were implemented on the planet's 3.5 billion tillable acres, nearly 40% of current CO2 emissions could be absorbed.
We've realised that it's good to plant trees, that we can absorb some of the carbon dioxide. We've learned enough to know that the breeding of hundreds and thousands of animals for food is terribly damaging to the environment, so more and more people are eating less meat or no meat.
I do what I do today as a hardcore vegan for the love of the animals. I know that no animal has to die for me to live.
Just connect to the earth, feel the vibration of the sun, the sky, the clouds, everything around us, run all the way through us and go right in through our feet to the heart of the earth. Please, for the sake of all the animals, be veg, go green, look at the flowers and save the planet.
Ladies and gentlemen, this video is a reminder for all of us to respect and cherish lives and to halt climate change in order to preserve the beauty and the harmony of this planet.
Yes, let's work together with love and change our daily life and attitudes so that we can end the crisis of global warming. Now we have a special video greetings from important people around the world for this conference.
Yes, first we have Dr. Rajendra K. Pachauri, the chairman of IPCC and the joint laureate of the Nobel Peace Prize 2007.
Let me at the outset convey my greetings to all you participants of this extremely important conference in Taichung, Taiwan. I'm deeply grieved at the terrible disaster that took place in Taiwan as a result of the typhoon in Morocco. This obviously affected the lives and property of so many people, and my deepest sympathies for those who lost their loved ones and who have lost all their belongings and possessions. Now, I really don't want to link any single incident, any weather-related event to human-induced climate change, because that would be scientifically wrong. But I do want to emphasize that as a result of climate change, events like this are likely to increase not only in number and frequency, but also in magnitude and intensity. So I would like to appeal to all of you to spread the message across the world that we have to bring about major changes by which we can reduce the emissions of greenhouse gases. There is, of course, a lot that we can do in industry, in transport, and in every economic activity that human beings carried out. But what is going to be critically important is for us to change our value systems and to change our lifestyles. An important element of changes in lifestyles is to be able to alter our diets. Unfortunately, the world has gone into a pattern of excessive consumption of meat protein. And you find that wherever incomes go up, people start consuming more and more meat, more and more animal protein. Just to give you an example, the first time I went to China was in 1981. And at that stage, about the only meat that people ate was pork, or some amount of poultry products. But today, with the increasing prosperity of China, you find a lot of people eating more and more meat. And China is not alone. This is happening in other parts of the world also. I find that even in India, which is essentially a vegetarian society, a great move towards eating much more meat, much more poultry products, and so on. So we know that the emissions of greenhouse gases associated with the cycle of meat production, poultry production, and all forms of animal food that we consume is extremely high. And one means by which we can reduce the emissions of greenhouse gases is to see that we cut down on meat consumption. And the result would be that not only would we be healthier, but so would the planet. It's now proved beyond doubt, medically as well, that those who live on a vegetarian diet certainly avoid some of the worst diseases that are now associated and are known to be associated with consumption of animal products, with poultry, and so on. So my submission would be that we should eat much less meat, and if possible, we should eliminate the consumption of red meat completely, because red meat, that's beef, lamb, mutton, is associated with the highest levels of emissions of greenhouse gases of all forms of food. So if we really want to save the planet, if we want to live a healthy and contented life, I would like to submit that moving towards much lower consumption of meat would be the interests of human beings, and it certainly would be in the interests of the planet. So I would like to appeal to you to consider this carefully, and you would find that when you make such a move, that you'd actually feel much better. And my slogan is, if you eat less meat, you would be healthier, and so would the planet. I hope all of you will deliberate on all aspects of climate change, and particularly on the importance of bringing about lifestyle changes. So I hope you have a productive and very pleasant conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pachauri, for your loving concern for Taiwan and your dedication in saving this planet.
Next, we have Mr. Philippe Roch, the former director of the Federal Environmental Office in Switzerland.
Je suis Philippe Roch, ancien directeur de l'Office fédéral de l'environnement suisse, secrétaire d'État, qui a participé pendant 13 ans à toutes les négociations internationales sur l'environnement. Nous allons traiter aujourd'hui les questions des changements climatiques et des droits humains, qui est une problématique extrêmement intéressante. Je me suis permis de rappeler aussi que si on veut assurer le développement de tous et les droits humains pour tous, il faut bien sûr partager ce que nous avons, il faut aussi cesser de gaspiller, mais il ne faut pas non plus oublier celle qui nous donne toutes nos ressources, qui est la nature elle-même, les écosystèmes, qui subissent aujourd'hui des dommages extrêmes de surexploitation, de destruction des forêts, de la mer, etc. Et que, évidemment, pour partager les uns avec les autres, il faut avoir quelque chose à partager, et c'est vraiment la nature qui nous donne tout ce dont nous avons besoin, et il faut absolument que nous la respections comme notre mère. Alors, bien sûr que je suis très heureux d'apprendre que vous aurez une conférence vidéo sur l'environnement, et dont le thème est de protéger sa propre maison avec amour, Protect your home with love. Et je pense que ça, c'est l'élément fondamental Dès que nous avons compris que nous vivons dans une grande maison, tous ensemble, dans une grande famille, tous les humains et avec tous les êtres vivants, les animaux, les plantes, alors notre relation avec la planète change et nous la respectons et nous ne pouvons plus la détruire.
Thank you, Mr. Philip Rock, for your encouraging words. Next, we will have Mr. Gilberto Natalina, the City Councilman of São Paulo City, Brazil.
Meu nome é Gilberto Natalini, sou médico, praticante da medicina e sou vereador da cidade de São Paulo pelo PSDB. Estou no meu 3º mandato de vereador. É muito importante que se realizem conferências como essa pelo mundo, porque o momento é um momento muito difícil, muito complexo. O planeta Terra está passando por modificações muito graves nas suas questões climáticas e eu quero desejar então aos participantes da conferência muito sucesso, um bom debate, que saiam propostas muito positivas para a melhoria das condições do planeta. O governo brasileiro está devendo para o mundo uma posição firme com respeito ao combate ao desmatamento da Amazônia e das nossas florestas. O crescimento do desmatamento das nossas florestas se deve, entre outras coisas, ao avanço da fronteira da agropecuária no Brasil. Isso significa destruição de floresta para a criação de gado para se servir ao mercado. O que existe no Brasil é um desperdício de terra, é um desperdício de água na criação de gado para servir tanto ao mercado interno como ao mercado externo. Eu acredito que as medidas de sustentabilidade são indispensáveis, são fundamentais no mundo de hoje e trabalhamos muito para que isso exista na nossa cidade e no nosso país. Acredito também que a agricultura orgânica é um caminho muito importante, muito saudável para a proteção da saúde humana e também para a proteção do ecossistema, uma vez que os agrotóxicos são grandes destruidores. Dá aqui um exemplo prático. Grandes bandos de marrecos na região, por exemplo, do norte fluminense, na Lagoa Feia, foram dizimados por uso de agrotóxicos em plantações no entorno da lagoa. E, por último, a questão do uso de vegetais na alimentação, né? O costume dos vegetarianos. Isso também pode ser uma medida extremamente importante, mas aí nós esbarramos nas questões culturais da humanidade, de povos de vários países do mundo que durante milênios se alimentaram de carne animal e que é preciso haver todo um processo de educação, um processo de discussão para que as pessoas possam mudar de hábito. Eu quero pedir ao Dr. Pachauri e à Suprema Mestra para que se dedique, e tenho certeza que eles vão se dedicar, com todas as suas forças, para que esse encontro seja vitorioso. E quero pedir também para que todos os participantes do encontro vistam a camisa da sustentabilidade, da defesa do planeta e nos ajudem, particularmente nos países em desenvolvimento e nos países mais pobres, para que os povos desses países possam superar a miséria, superar a pobreza e defender o planeta. É o nosso desejo sincero em nome da cidade de São Paulo, em nome do povo paulistano. Muito obrigado.
Thank you, Nina, and all the speakers again for your time and sincere efforts to halt climate change. Many thanks to all our esteemed guests of this conference for sharing with us their great and exciting viewpoints.
Thank you for your warm-hearted presence for today's episode of Words of Wisdom. Please join us again tomorrow for part 2 of Protect Our Home with Love. Now, please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for a journey through aesthetic realms, coming up next right after Noteworthy News. May heavens bless you and your loved ones with much love and abundance.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/WOW